Alright guys, I'm really excited for this one. This video outlines one of my most effective techniques. I've employed this for the past 12 years. It took me about 4 years of doing this before I noticed a revolutionary change with the core of how I am as a person and how I see the world. Are you guys ready? Every day, invariably, has a start. No matter what, as long as you're alive, you wake up and your day starts. For some, this happens in the morning. For others, this happens in the afternoon or even the evening. That process of waking up is a drastic shift in the way your brain works. Literally. It literally changes the way electricity flows throughout the brain. This fresh start, before you engage in your regular ways of thinking, days getting started and all that, is a great place to try another style of thought. Before you start recalling emotions previously experienced, quickly think back to yesterday. Think of every action you conducted that day. Try to remember every single one. Associate each action with its result. Now, submit this pair to the following questions. Did I do the right thing? If so, can I do anything to make it better next time? If not, what should I have done differently? You see, upon awakening, in your fresh start before your emotions display themselves, you significantly reduce the amount of bias with which you may influence your perspective on things. Therefore, at this time of the fresh start, you have a greater ability for dissecting your logic and working on your flaws. I sometimes follow this with a brief period of Anapana meditation. This technique will be described in another video, but for those of you who know what it is, I think we'll understand why this is the perfect time to engage in a few minutes or so of Anapana, depending on how much time you have. Now, how much time are we talking here? How much time do I think we need to contribute to this logical dissecting technique? I understand that this is a vital question, as many of us dread the thought of waking up earlier. Well, here's the thing. When we solely force ourselves to change, we are rarely successful. Therefore, I suggest you set the alarm clock back an honest amount of time. How much earlier do you think you can wake up? If you think you can wake up 5 minutes earlier, so be it. Just do that. If 10, take the 10. Even if it's a mere 1 minute, do it anyway. See, the thing is, I think the following statement is pretty underrecognized. I feel that the effort of organizing this time is just as equally as important, just as vital as actually carrying the task through. Now try it for a week. On the 7th day, try to take a little more time. Take that time to look back on the entire previous week. Try to notice if there's a pattern in how you made your decisions through all those days. Now the pattern may be obvious. Sometimes there's an exact same decision that is repeated regardless of an undesirable pattern. Sometimes there's an overarching theme or a driver of decision making, such as fear, gluttony, or love. You just recognized a key feature of the way your brain thinks, regardless of volition. Now, it's their turn to face the test of the same 3 questions. Did I do the right thing? If so, can I do anything to make it better next time? If not, what should I have done differently? This is the first step of taking your personality through the ringer. Grab a hold of this experience with a tight grip, as this is the way your mind is tangible and pliable if you allow it to be. Going back to my personal experience, I developed this technique when I was 15. At that time, I was a few years into adopting negative aspects to my personality. As I started to recognize this, I wondered, what if this is just the tip of the iceberg? How can I find out if there is more to this negativity than what I perceive? Understanding that actions can be a reflection of our minds, I realized that analyzing every action would yield the most data about myself, thus revealing patterns and weaknesses. I was finally able to get a grip on this technique when I was 16. Then, one fall evening, 4 years later when I was 20, while I was sitting in my living room, I had an intense realization of the recognition of how much I actively changed the way I thought. Try it for yourself. Who knows what you'll learn? You might become better today, thanks to yesterday, for a brighter tomorrow.